Day continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. President Bongbong Marcos is still on the fence about the outright banning of Philippine offshore gaming operations, or POGOs. Speaking to reporters in Davos, President Marcos said that it would be better to study the social cost of POGOs first, as well as their contribution to state revenue. Marcos Jr. did say, though, that he is open to discussing regulations with China, which has been pushing for a crackdown on POGOs. Offshore gaming operations have been linked to illegal activities, including money laundering, tax evasion, kidnapping, human trafficking, and prostitution.
I don't know what would be the point. As it's not a huge part of our economy, and if it's adjudged that there is a social cost, it might not be worth it. All of these things we should be continuously examining to see if it still continues to be a good idea for the Philippines.
Meantime, the president says that he is not yet inclined to appoint a permanent agriculture secretary. Marcos Jr. noted that he is still looking for the right person to lead the department. Recall that several lawmakers and groups have urged the president to step down as chief of agriculture, as several issues in the sector remain unaddressed.
Hindi kila eksperto sa agrikultura. Agriculture is a very complicated subject. Hindi lang kung sino-sino basta magaling mag-manager. Pag nagawa na namin yung mga yung bucket list namin, natapos na namin, alis na ako. Then I will give it to somebody else.
In other news, Defense Secretary Carlito Galvez is pushing for the removal of fixed terms in the Philippine Army. Instead, Galvez is suggesting an extended tenure of service, explaining that careers of AFP officers would be more flexible this way. Galvez added that the tenure of concerned personnel can be extended for as long as they continue to enjoy the trust of the president. Several senators have backed the removal of the 3-year fixed terms of key military officials.
At least meron pa silang 1 year sa retirement when they will be placed on the key positions, except for the Chief of Staff. So nakikita natin na maganda yung magiging flexibility because it will not tie up or even diminish yung powers ng Presidente to remove officers.
More stories coming your way after this quick break. Stay with us here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Heads up motorists, oil companies will be implementing a price hike effective tomorrow, Tuesday. Gasoline prices will be up by 2 pesos and 80 centavos a liter, while diesel prices will be increasing by 2 pesos and 25 centavos a liter. Kerosene will also be more expensive by 2 pesos and 40 centavos per liter. This is the second straight week of hikes for diesel and gasoline. The price increase is due to the recovery of China's economy, which would require higher demand for fuel. And here's a quick look at today's other top stories. The Public Works Department has closed the inner lane of the C5 Ortigas flyover southbound for repairs. The MMDA says this portion of the flyover will not be passable from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. beginning January 21 to fix construction joints. The repairs will last for about 1 month. And at least 9 flights at the NAIA were disrupted over the weekend. The Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines had to replace the blowing fan for the second uninterruptible power supply, or UPS. The UPS is used to power communications, navigation, and surveillance at the Air Traffic Management Center. CAP's maintenance lasted for a little over an hour, with operations back to normal by 6 a.m. on Sunday. Human rights group Karapatan calls on the Supreme Court to review cases of political prisoners following the release of Gigi Reyes. Reyes is the former chief of staff of now presidential legal advisor Juan Ponce Enrile. Karapatan says there are at least 63 political prisoners who have been in jail much longer than Reyes. Reyes was temporarily released last week after 9 years in detention for her alleged role in the pork barrel scam. And the 2023 Oscar nominations will be released anytime soon, with members of the Academy already done with voting. Film writer Jake Coyle tells us what to expect from this year's awards in this report for the Associated Press.
With all due respect, sir, I'm not a teacher.
Well, I think we'll have some big budget movies in there like Top Gun, Maverick, Avatar: The Way of Water, Elvis. You know, there'll be spectacles in the mix for Best Picture.
I have a set of shears at home, and each time you bother me, I'll take one of my fingers off with them.
I do think the most likely leading candidates are The Banshees of Inisherin, the Irish dark comedy, and Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Mrs. Wang, are you with us?
I am paying attention.
Along with Steven Spielberg's The Fabelmans. I think those 3 movies are most likely Best Picture candidates just by how the guilds have voted.
We cannot endure any more violence.
You know, I'd like to see Women Talking in the mix, Sarah Polley's film. It's a quieter, dialogue-heavy film, but one of the best of last year. After Sun, which I thought was the best movie of last year, could sneak in. At least as far as winners go, the Academy has, if anything, been picking smaller films than bigger films. Last year's Best Picture winner, Coda, 0 box office. The first time that's ever happened. Not a penny in box office, streamed by Apple TV+. You know, there were a few distractions at that ceremony last year, so people might have missed what a kind of groundbreaking moment that was.
For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News Live anytime, anywhere. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.